All right, so Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis goes down in just a couple of weeks. I cannot wait for this one because this is one of the most highly anticipated matchups of all time. Khamzat Chimaev, ever since he signed with the UFC, we all know what he's capable of. The man is a finishing machine. He is an absolute monster, okay? He is undefeated. He's gone through most people like a hot knife through butter, okay? And we're talking world-class competition. People like Robert Whittaker. The way that he dismantled Li Jingliang was just phenomenal. He's got great boxing. The wrestling is probably some of the best in the UFC. In fact, probably the best in the UFC right now. Nobody shoots like Khamzat Chimaev from about a mile away, but he's so fast and so explosive. He level changes, then woof, he flies across the octagon, and all he's got to do is get a hold of you, and you are in a world of trouble. So, does he beat Dricus du Plessis? That's not what we're here to talk about. What we're going to talk about is it a disaster if Khamzat Chimaev becomes the champion of the world? Because that's the opinion of one legendary fighter, Dean Thomas. Dean Thomas was talking on a show or doing an interview, and he said it would be a disaster if Khamzat Chimaev won because he's not reliable, okay? And the division might get held up. The exact quote was, if Khamzat wins, it's a disaster. You can't tell me that part of you isn't just thinking the fight might not actually happen. By the way, if it doesn't happen, the backup fighter is Caio Borralho. I thought Nasruddin Imavov versus Borralho was going to go ahead at some point, but Borralho just confirmed he will be there in Chicago. If Khamzat can't make it to the fight, if he fails on the scale, if he gets sick, if he gets food poisoning, or Dricus du Plessis just doesn't fancy it, Caio Borralho will be stepping in.
Now, I'm the backup from the fight against Dricus and Chimaev.
But as I said, Dean Thomas said, you can't tell me that part of you isn't just thinking this fight might not actually happen. Some of these guys habitually struggle in just making it to the dance. I'm not going to be pessimistic about it, and I will say he's going to show up. But if he does show up and he's able to win, do we trust him to be able to show up and fight again? That's the question. Can he do it twice? Can he do it 3 times? Because we need movement, because I hate it when it's static and there's no movement in these divisions. And in order for there to be movement, the champions have to fight. Now, that is a fair point by Dean Thomas. Now, Khamzat Chimaev hasn't been the most reliable guy. The reality is, when you look at his record here on Tapology, he has pulled out of 6 fights. Now, of course, he was supposed to fight Robert Whittaker. That was supposed to go down in June 2024. Ended up going down in October. He was supposed to fight Paulo Costa.
Did you say you want to fight now? You want to fight me?
So he was supposed to fight Nate Diaz. That's 3 cancelled bouts.
Hey, Khamzat, if you in there, don't be a bitch. My boy's right here. Fight him. We're talking my name. And anybody in...
And then there's 3 fights with Leon Edwards. Now, first of all, the 3 fights with Leon Edwards, that was probably because of COVID. That was 2020 and 2021. I can't remember the exact details, but fights were dropping off left, right, and center because of COVID. So forget about those 3. The one with Nate Diaz, yeah, okay, he couldn't make weight. So then they brought in Kevin Holland instead. So he did fight somebody, okay? The fight with Nate Diaz was cancelled, but he did make it to the octagon. And then Paulo Costa, I can't remember what happened there. But 6 fights, according to Tapology, that he fell out of. So then that had me thinking, who has pulled out of the most fights in the UFC? So I went to ChatGPT. And I asked him, and it said this: Ray Borg is the #1 pullout artist of all time. No offense, Ray Borg, buddy. Have a word with ChatGPT, not me. This is what it said. This is crazy. Out of 15 cancelled bouts, Borg was the one to pull out 9 times. He had 26 bouts scheduled in the UFC, and he only made it to 12 of them. So 14 fights that he pulled out of, and 9 of them were because of him. But anyway, whatever, I do digress. All right, so yeah, he's had 6 cancelled bouts. But when you look at Khamzat Chimaev, yeah, he's brilliant to watch, and he's very interesting. He's a compelling character. But he doesn't fight too frequently either. In 2024, he only had 1 fight against Whittaker. 23, only 1 fight against Usman. He did have 2 fights in 2022 and 2 fights in 2021. If you're going to be the champion, you got to defend. And Khamzat Chimaev has got a very good chance of becoming the champion. And of course, there was some struggles with visas and stuff like that, but that seems to have all been taken care of. You know, Dana White knows a few people in powerful places. And of course, the fight's going down in Chicago. So getting to the US isn't an issue. So don't worry about that. The main thing that he should worry about, Khamzat Chimaev, is Dricus du Plessis. Because yes, of course, Khamzat is a force of nature and he does have some of the best wrestling in the UFC. The man is a finisher of the highest degree. But we know he does have cardio issues. If he gets past the first round, he could start to slow down. Now, there is footage of him on social media on an exercise bike or an elliptical machine, and he's absolutely killing it. He's got a bunch of people around him just cheering him on and all the rest of it. You're going, go on, Khamzat. Push it, son. Push it, son. I never had that. I did all my training by myself. I would go out on the streets. I would run like a maniac. Just running through the neighborhood like an absolute goddamn psycho. But whatever gets you to the dance, ready to do it, I couldn't care less. Seems like he's working hard on the cardio because we know, you know what I'm going to say, he has to. Against Gilbert Burns and against Kamaru Usman, in the first round, he slowed down. Now, Dricus is a big dude. He's not going to be easy to take down. Dricus is going to play him at his own game, and that's exactly what he's got to do. You can't run away from Khamzat Chimaev, okay? The man's going to get you. He's going to get a hold of you, and he's going to try and take you down, and he's probably going to be successful. So what do? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to meet him head on. You're going to fight him at his own game, and that's exactly what Dricus du Plessis said that he's going to do. He will get a hold of you and he probably will take you down. So meet him head on. Make him work for it. The best form of defense is attack. Put Khamzat Chimaev on the back foot. Dricus du Plessis isn't scared of anyone. You probably saw that picture of me and him in Sydney back in the day. He was way bigger than me, okay? I put it on my Instagram. I said, I'm 220 pounds, and Dricus du Plessis was making me look tiny. He's a massive middleweight. He's got excellent jiu-jitsu skills. He tapped out an entire black belt Gracie team one after the other. He's got knockout power and he's got the cardio as well these days, ever since he got the nose job, okay? So the man's cooking with gas. He's firing on all cylinders and he can't wait to go head-to-head with Khamzat Chimaev. So, would it be a disaster if Khamzat Chimaev wins? That's what Dean Thomas said. I kind of get his point because we do want to have a busy champion, okay? You got to fight. You can't sit on the sidelines. You can't become the champion and say, right, I'm going to avoid fighting people now. No, you got to defend it because when you defend it, that's when you make money. That's how you build your brand. That's how you get the endorsement deals, okay? Look at Israel Adesanya. When that man was the champion, he was defending the belt at a crazy pace, okay? That's why you got to have respect for champions like Israel Adesanya and Anderson Silva back in the day because they were ready to take on absolutely anybody. Khamzat Chimaev, I think he's ready to take on everybody. He wants to kill everybody. Kill everybody! That's what he said right from day one. And I think if he can beat Dricus, and that's a big if. It's a very big if, okay? I don't know if he can. I'd probably lean towards Dricus du Plessis. But if he does do it, it remains to be seen whether or not that will be a disaster. I think he will fight more frequently because he'll be the champion of the world. He'll want to get back in there. He'll want to show everybody. And to be honest, if he beats Dricus du Plessis, who's going to beat him? I don't know if Kyle Borhaio's the guy. I don't know if Nassourdine Imavov is the guy either. If Khamzat Chimaev can beat Dricus du Plessis, I don't know if anyone can beat him. Anyway, let me know what you think about that, please, in the comment section. Will it be a disaster? Who wins in this fight? Will he pull out of the fight, right? No, he won't pull out of the fight. No, he won't pull out of the fight, and he won't struggle to make weight at 185 pounds. It's an absolute breeze, but let me know what you think about all of this, please, in the comment section. Subscribe and ring the bell. I will see you soon.